Israel must therefore cooperate in good faith with the United Nations and render it every assistance. And despite its abrogation of its bilateral and operational agreement with UNRWA, Israel's obligations under the UN Charter and the General Convention prevail. Mr. President, members of the Court, turning now to the legal consequences which flow from the question before the Court. South Africa submits that Israel's unlawful occupation and its aforementioned violations of peremptory norms of international law constitute internationally wrongful acts attributable to the State of Israel. This necessarily invokes the law of state responsibility. Israel must therefore immediately seize its internationally wrongful acts and make reparation in full, including through restitution, compensation, and satisfaction. Israel must comply with its obligations as an occupying power to ensure food and medical supplies and facilitate the unhindered provision of humanitarian goods, essential services, and development assistance by the UN, third states, and other international organizations. It must fully cease hostilities to ensure their ability to deliver assistance. Israel must comply with this Court's binding provisional measures in South Africa versus Israel and take effective measures to ensure, without delay and in full cooperation with the United Nations, the unhindered provision at scale and by all concerned of urgently needed basic services and humanitarian assistance to Palestinians in Gaza. Finally, Israel must immediately reverse its decision to expel UNRWA and other UN bodies from carrying out their mandated activities. Turning to the obligations on the United Nations, the United Nations and its bodies are under a duty not to recognize Israel's internationally wrongful acts, such as its unlawful eviction of UNRWA and its unlawful powers reserved for the legitimate sovereign in Palestine. And despite Israeli restrictions, the UN and its agencies, including UNRWA, must continue to render humanitarian assistance to the Palestinian people. It must demand and negotiate for the removal of barriers imposed by Israel. Turning to the obligations on third states. Third states have an obligation not to recognize as lawful Israel's internationally wrongful acts,